Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 16, text number 7. Kshati akramam vainya apari akramatamapi bhutanam karuna shashvat artanam chitivrittiman. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. This King Pṛthu will be very, very kind to all citizens. Even though a poor person may trample over king's head by violating the rules and regulations, the king, out of his causeless mercy, will be forgetful and forgiving. As a protector of the world, he will be as tolerant as the earth itself. Purport. King Pṛthu is herein compared to the earthly planet as far as his tolerance is concerned. Although the earth is always trampled upon by men and animals, it still gives food to them by producing grains, fruits, and vegetables. As an ideal king, Maharaj Pṛthu is compared to earthly planet. For even though some citizens might violate the rules and regulations of the state, he would still be tolerant and maintain them with fruits and grains. In other words, it is the duty of the king to look after the comforts of the citizens even at the cost of his own personal convenience. This is not the case, however, in Kali-yuga, for in Kali-yuga, the king and heads of state enjoy life at the cost of taxes exacted from the citizens. Such unfair taxation makes people dishonest, and people try to hide their income in so many ways. Eventually, the state will not be able to collect taxes and consequently will not be able to meet its huge military and administrative expenses. Everything will collapse and there will be chaos and disturbance all over the state. Text 8. Deve varshati asau devo nara deva vapur harihi krichra pranaha prajahi esha rakshishyati ajnasendravat. When there is no rainfall and the citizens are in great danger due to scarcity of water, this royal personality of Godhead will be able to supply rains exactly like heavenly King Indra. Thus, he will very easily be able to protect the citizens from drought. Purport. King Pṛthu is very appropriately compared to the sun and the demigod Indra. King Indra of the heavenly planets is in charge of distributing water over the earth and other planetary systems. It is indicated that King Pṛthu would arrange for the distribution of rainfall personally if Indra failed to discharge his duty properly. Sometimes the king of heaven, Indra, would become angry at the inhabitants of the earth if they did not offer sacrifices to appease him. King Pṛthu, however, being an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, did not depend on the mercy of heavenly king. It is foretold herein that if there would be a scarcity of rain, King Pṛthu would manage to counteract the deficiency by virtue of his godly powers. Such powers were also exhibited by Lord Krishna when he was present in Vrindavana. Indeed, when Indra poured incessant water on Vrindavana for 7 days, the inhabitants were protected by Krishna, who raised the Govardhan hill over their heads as a great umbrella. Thus, Lord Krishna is also known as Govardhanadhari. the sense of Bhaktivedanta purport. So the glorification of the great qualities of King Pṛthu continues. Here it is predicted that this King Pṛthu will be very, very kind to all the citizens. He will be very tolerant with people who even violate the rules and regulations of living, who break the principles of dharma. Out of his causeless mercy, he will still maintain and protect them by forgiving them. And here, these wonderful qualities of Pṛthu Maharaj are compared to the qualities of the earth, which has got this extraordinary quality of supplying grains, fruits, minerals, everything to all the population who are actually continuously trampling on the earth. So King Pṛthu is compared to these wonderful qualities that are possessed by Mother Earth. In contrast to this kind of ruler, Pṛthu Maharaj was a Shakti Avesh Avatara, who is Vishnu's incarnation, Shakti Avesh incarnation, especially for the function. When somebody takes all the Shaktis of Krishna for a particular function, then he is called Shakti Avesh Avatara. So all his actions, his functions in this aspect of being a ruler, they are as good as Vishnu's actions. The Supreme Lord himself is on the earth, and therefore it is said that even if Indra misses out his duty to send forth rain, Pṛthu Maharaj had the power to supply rains, even independent of the heavenly planet King Indra. Such is the power of the incarnation of the Lord. Everyone in this material world, including the demigods, they are all carrying out their respective functions on behalf of the Supreme Lord, in accordance with the supreme mechanism, in terms of the supreme arrangement of this existence by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whatever one may say, as most of the people in modern civilization, that there is no God, you take for granted all the necessities that our body needs. You take for granted the nature is providing all that. It is not automatic. Taking for granted means that you think it is automatic. Nobody is working behind it. Every living entity subsists on food. and everyone gets his food from nature. And nobody is managing the nature. Those who are consuming this food, they are not managing the nature. They are not managing the rains. So this rain is so fundamental. We take for granted because it keeps coming. So the Supreme Lord, through various devatas, actually providing all the necessities of life, especially to the human beings, who in turn are supposed to offer sacrifice to the demigods. And in this way, the humanity pays to the demigods in the form of sacrifice. Sacrifice means recognizing, offering, offering the results of one's work, offering oneself, offering devotion, recognition that I have to pay like the citizens feel that I am obligated to pay the tax. This demigod and humanity relationship is not something very unusual. It looks unusual because we don't see the demigods. But it is parallel to the taxation system that we have now. The citizens, they earn, but they also pay taxes. And what does the government do with the taxes? Whatever common arrangement is required, an arrangement needs common need of everyone. Common need of everyone is roads. Common need of everyone is water supply. Common need of everybody is electricity supply. Right? Each one of us as a tiny person cannot create my own electricity, my own water, my own roads. I cannot. So where is any abnormality to understand this principle? That the same pattern is required for a social system to run. So there are macro things like rain is required. Now even the government cannot provide rain. Once rain comes, then government can catch it and then create water supply and give it to each home. But it cannot create rain. Nature creates rain. Government or we as a part of the government, individuals, nobody is working towards producing rain. Isn't it? So, but that also has a principle that by offering sacrifice, rain comes. Then one may say that nowadays we don't see, nobody even knows this principle, nobody is even offering sacrifices, how rain is coming. That means rains, this nature is not dependent upon any of these principles that is being talked about in the Vedas. This apparent anomaly happens because of our time scale. Even thousands of years, even 1000 years is only about 365 into 3. 365 years is 1 year for demigod. So maybe in the last few centuries, we have forgotten to offer sacrifices. But according to their scale of time, the demigod scale of time, they'll put a break. That break, that means they stop supplying rains. It is predicted in Kali-yuga, there will be fully drought. It is predicted. It will happen. Because every action will take some time for its reaction. For some days, suppose you have a system, for some days somebody does not, just like the government, if you don't pay tax for 1 year, 2 years, they'll wait and finally they will catch you. And immediately they'll pounce on you. So the reaction of not paying taxes may not be immediate. So that is why we see that still the world is running. That is one thing. Another reason the world is running could be because a few people are doing their sacrifice in the form of Sankirtana Yajna now, which is a direct sacrifice to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that way it is predicted that in Kali-yuga there will be a golden period of 10,000 years. Then people in Kali-yuga do not do their sacrifices, offer their sacrifices to demigods. And how there can be golden age? Golden age means there has to be plentiful of everything. There should not be shortage of anything. There should be abundance of all resources. There should be no poverty. And there should be good rulers who keep the evil down, who through their Kshatriya qualities, who arrest the evil and evil people from destroying the peace of the society. So if a golden period has to come, there has to be a good administration, there has to be good kings, devotee kings like Pṛthu Maharaj. And there has to be an incarnation like Pṛthu Maharaj. So in this golden age that is predicted in Kali-yuga, 10,000 years of golden age, Nama Prabhu is the incarnation. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So if anybody has to rule this world and all the other things, when the Supreme Lord, has, just like it said that if there is no rainfall, Pṛthu Maharaj will produce rainfall. So similarly, because Sankirtana is going on, therefore people still get their requirements. Rain comes, everything happens. And the Sankirtana movement will produce leaders who are worshippers of this Nama Avatara, who worship every day, 16 rounds, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So such personalities will chant nicely, and not necessarily in this life. Those who chant very soulfully, and get attached to the holy name and realize the holy name as incarnation and become the servant of the holy name, then all the devotees who are chanting now, they will all be born again next life or life after that, whatever it is. They'll all become leaders on this earth. So in that way, the whole world will be, golden age can come. Because if golden age has to come, there has to be good leaders. There has to be Vaishnava leaders. But don't see the present situation, there are no leaders. What will happen when we all die? That is why don't plan to go back to Godhead immediately. Normally one does not want to remain here. But since there is a prediction, there is a golden period. Why not to go after golden period? Purify ourselves and become servants of the Lord. Empowered servants of the Lord. There will be good life on this earth through Sankirtana movement. So one should be very hopeful. Just like nobody could believe when it was predicted that Krishna's name will go everywhere all over the world. It was predicted hundreds of years back. But then the devotees themselves, they were saying, no, not Prithvitache means, it means Bengal. Gaudiya Vaishnava devotees, because they have to have a faith. Today you are easily seeing the world is connected. And then you are seeing the devotees, Americans, Europeans, Africans, Australians, which part of the world? They're all, you see shaved heads. Can you ever get one sight like that, one visual like that, when the prediction was made? No. One would not even go beyond, maybe out of, from India, somebody who leaves India will be about, incountable, maybe 500 people would have gone abroad. Why abroad? People would not go beyond the village or little state, they would not go beyond that. Everybody, life was like that. Life was all local. So when life is so local, when somebody says, no, this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, Sankirtana movement, which at that time was obviously only in Bengal or in Navadvip, that it would go every nook and corner of the world. Our mind would say, it's impossible. Kaisa ho sakta hai? Impossible. Similarly, when we say there will be a golden period on this earth, impossible. But simple understanding, suppose all the present people die and they become animals because of their sinful activities. All the Vaishnavas, they take birth as good leaders, good people. The world has changed. The golden period. This whole birth, reincarnation, nobody thinks. But it is a fact. That is how generations change. So it is very much possible that on this earth, many generations we can take birth again and serve the Lord in the form of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So as long as there is propagation and there is chanting and pleasing the holy name of the Lord, there will be a golden period. Like here it is described, Pṛthu Maharaj's governance, Shakti Avesha. Similarly, devotees, if they allow Krishna Shakti to enter us, then we become Shakti Avesha for that particular day. If you chant your 16 rounds nicely, that particular day you will represent the Shakti Avesha, the Krishna Shakti that has entered you. And you will be able to render devotion service, contribute towards good of this world. So Kalikale Nama Rupa Avatara, one has to understand that the Supreme Lord has incarnated as his sound. And just like one sun is reflecting on so many water bodies, similarly this sun of Nama Avatara is reflecting on the tongues of people who are chanting Hare Krishna. And they are entering through the ears into the heart, where all Krishna Shakti is all pure Shaktis. Pure power, pure love, pure knowledge, pure pleasure, Satchitananda Shaktis. So, that Shakti will influence our heart. Right now, our heart is influenced by Maya Shakti. Everywhere Maya Shakti is there. Through all our senses, Maya Shakti is entering. Through ignorance is inflicted on our mind. And the mind interprets what it gets through the senses. It's for my enjoyment. It's for my enjoyment. This is Maya Shakti. What is there in every situation? What is there for me in it? So that kind of a Maya Shakti has captured the people's heart. Their thinking, feeling, willing is captured. Their desiring is captured. Instead of desiring to serve Krishna, they're desiring to serve Maya. So that kind of, it is one Shakti against the other Shakti. So if you don't receive the Nama Avatara, the sound which is already Nam Makari Bauda Naja Sarva Shakti, all the Shaktis of Krishna are entered, the sound that we utter. Take that sound to the ears, to the mind, into our heart, mantra after mantra. Then, as Prabhupada said, iron put in the fire will become iron-like. Similarly, our heart will become decorated with the qualities of Satya Chittana Ananda, which is called Krishna consciousness. Our consciousness turns into Krishna consciousness. Any questions? So the greatest thing that a ruler can do now is to propagate the holy name of the Lord, to propagate association, the art of associating with the holy name, to teach people how to chant and hear offenselessly. That is why Prabhupada says the highest welfare activity is to spread the holy name of the Lord. And generally and particularly, specifically, train people to chant. Nobody controls where somebody takes birth. Right? Every day birth is happening. Which soul takes birth where, nobody knows. And who is controlling that? Daivanetvena, by divine arrangement. Which soul takes birth where? So if we are sincere servants of Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then sometimes we worry, oh, this life I don't have this ability, that ability, I want to serve the Lord. I'm not very intelligent, I don't have this, that, all those kinds. I cannot speak very nicely, I cannot do this, I cannot do this. Don't worry. This life, only you chant Hare Krishna nicely. Next life, all that Shakti, you will be born with all the Shaktis, all your desires will be fulfilled. If you have political desires also, you will become political leaders. In Krishna consciousness. In Krishna consciousness. That much minute detail the Lord will fulfill the desires of those who are chanting. Because Nama is Nama Chintamani. Any questions?
Hare Krishna, bro. Hare Krishna, bro.
Yes.
Prabhu, in one of your class you have mentioned soul has two forms, spiritual form and material form. And the material form is imitating the spiritual form.
Soul has only one form, spiritual form.
Okay.
But now we are having a material form, which is a duplicate of spiritual form.
Prabhu, how it is imitating spiritual form? Because we see material form is looking for enjoyment. But
no, the functions. The soul thinks, this body can think. Body has material intelligence. It's called artificial intelligence. Our bodily, our intelligence, manas, buddhi, ahankara, these are all artificial. Okay, so this ahankara is I am this body. But actually that is in your spiritual, you are servant of Krishna. Here you identify yourself as I am the body. So you're duplicating an identity, duplicating an intelligence, duplicating an emotional body, mind, duplicating a gross body which has all karma indriya and jnana indriya. Correct? So the soul simply has to sit. Otherwise, once, of course, soul goes away, it's a dead body. As long as soul sits, it will function like a spiritual body. But a spiritual body in the spiritual world, its constitution, its nature is pure devotion service. But you can desire something other than pure devotion service. In order to fulfill that desire, you cannot fulfill that in your spiritual body. Spiritual body cannot engage in sense gratification. Spiritual body is in love of Krishna. But now it is dormant. Just like in the dream, in a wakeful state, you are using your thinking capacity, feeling capacity, everything you are using, correct? In a dream, you are also using all that. In a wakeful state, whatever function is there, in the dream also it is there. But that is all for somebody, it's not for your real self. That means your thinking power is there in the dream. Your feeling power is there in the dream. Your willing power is there in the dream. Your experiencing power is there in the dream. But the experience is not yours. The thoughts are not your thoughts. That is coming from the kshetra. The feelings are not from the soul. Feeler is the soul. Thinker is the soul. So thinking, feeling, willing, so all personal functions that we see in this body, it dependent on the soul. Soul goes out, this entire wonderful system cannot think, feel, will, all those things. But when it is there, it will duplicate and make you believe that this is spiritual body. I am the body. So this body itself can convert itself to spiritual body. When this mind, body, entire system fully functions like a spiritual body. What is functioning like a spiritual body? Serving Krishna. Krishna is in the center. This body, my Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam, Bhakti Ruchate. When this body, mind, everything is soaked in bhakti, then this body functions like a spiritual body. Like Prabhupada's body. This world's Panchabhuta body functions like a spiritual body. That is why we worship in this form. If this form becomes eternal form, that's why we worship in this form. It's not a matter form. It's a matter that has transformed into spiritual. Similarly, our body also, when we become 100% free from all the urges, and the entire body reverses its urges, not it becomes free from the urge, it reverses its urges to please Guru and Krishna. Your seeing will be for pleasing Guru and Krishna, your tasting will be for Guru and Krishna, your working will be for... This is bhakti, love. Love means what? You're mad. Right? Your object of love is everything. Krishna, Krishna's pleasure, Krishna's pleasure, Krishna's work. Eat for Krishna, sleep for Krishna, walk for Krishna. Like that. You become mad after Krishna. All the functions of the body will get directed towards pleasure of the Supreme Lord, Guru and Krishna. Any other question? Rangaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.